Here at the Miami airport queue for Uber and Lyft drivers, uh, just finished giving out all of my business cards, but there's still almost 100 people on the airport queue. So this is going to be quite the interesting time here. Quite a bit of people still coming in, and yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can see all of these people right here, but it's quite a lot. So, but that's one of the things about Uber and Lyft is that when you get into these airport queues, it can be pretty daunting. I mean, you could be sitting here waiting for quite some time in order to get through it all. But that's really what I wanted to talk to you about, because you know what? If you're one of those people that I just gave my card to, and if you want to see that card, but for those of you who are watching this video that did not get one of my cards, this is basically what I was out there handing out. A card like this. Of course, I just ran out of them because I handed them all out. But the big thing that it says on here is how to make your Uber/Lyft business more profitable. And so a lot of you are thinking, well, how can I do that? Because sitting at this airport queue kind of sucks. And of course, that's something that all of us want to do. All of us want to make more money. And one of the things that I've noticed throughout my career is that you always need multiple sources of income in order to protect yourself, because it's like with my life it's like with my life as an example. When I was in my late teens, early 20s, I was building computers, selling them at between a $500 to $1,000 profit, making a ton of money. Delivering people computers and showing them how to use it. Back then, I'm 52 years old now, so back then there weren't a lot of people that had computers, and they didn't know how to use them even when they had them. And so what I would do is I'd come in and I'd basically show them how to use it, show them how to use Word, show them how to use the internet, show them how to use Prodigy and a bunch of other things like that. And but very quickly, what I found was that Dell and a couple of other companies decided to start selling these computers at super low prices that I couldn't compete at. And so eventually I ended up losing that business. So what did I do? I went and I moved on. I started doing computer networking. And I'd come into offices, $100 per computer. We take care of everything on that computer. Any software, any hardware issues, any viruses, losses to the connection to the database, whatever it was, we would take care of it. But then, as time went on, computers started, or I should say, the clients started switching to a lot of these web-based services instead of using things like Exchange Server for email. And the other thing that they would do is they started switching over to Indian-based support companies that would charge far less than what I was charging. And so after a fair amount of time, that's a business that was no longer really viable for me anymore. So from there I moved on to website design, and that did really well for me for a while, up until things like Wix and other super simple website designs software came out, to where anybody could put up a website in an instant, and they didn't need somebody like me putting up that website for them. And then after that, I got into vitamins and did extremely well with that. But then, of course, my top 3 suppliers were bought out by this huge multi-billion-dollar company and told me, sorry, we don't need you selling on Amazon for us anymore. We're going to do it all ourselves. And basically, with the amount of debt that I had with that business, it no longer became viable for me. And so here I am driving for Lyft, and I'm sure that a lot of you guys have similar stories. You probably didn't grow up saying, hey, I'm going to be a Lyft driver, I'm going to be an Uber driver. And there's a lot of advantages to driving Lyft. You know, my wife lost her job a couple of years ago, and she now works for an agency on a per diem basis. So they kind of like call her up and say, hey, we need you to come in either today or tomorrow or whatever. So I, in turn, need to be a lot more flexible. And this allows me to be extremely flexible. You know, I can basically do this whenever I want. And whenever I don't want, I don't have to answer to anybody. I have no customers, no clients to answer to. I have no bosses to answer to. So there's a lot of really cool aspects about this business that's great. But at the same time, you know, 3-4 years ago, we were making a lot more money in this business than we are today. You know, today, by the time that you add up what you pay in tires, what you pay in brakes, what you pay in maintenance, you know, all of this extra maintenance that we have to do to the cars because of all the extra mileage we're putting on it. By the time that you factor all of those things in, the true cost of this ends up being to where it's not quite as profitable as it used to be. And so I know that there's a lot of you guys out there that are thinking, well, what else can I do? What else could I possibly do? Well, you could do what I did today, which is walk around, meet people, and handing out those business cards, you know? And how does that help you? How does that get you somewhere? Well, that's the best part. Is what you're doing basically is that you're providing people not only with a fantastic service that's going to help people save time, save money, and a heck of a lot of aggravation, you know, with Legal Shield, you know. And there's a lot of people that are in a lot of situations that should have an attorney but don't have an attorney. And the reason that they don't is because they feel that they can't afford it. You know, you might get involved in an accident. You might have an immigration issue. You might have, a divorce, child support, some sort of issue that you really should be consulting with an attorney and going over what it is that you should do on a legal basis. And you don't do those things because of the fact that picking up that phone and calling and consulting with an attorney will cost you $200, $300, $400, even $500 an hour. But the reality is that it's something that you should do, and it's something that you need to do in order to protect yourself. And now you can do it very inexpensively, less than $1 a day. You can have Legal Shield. Now, as an associate, as someone like myself who introduces other people to Legal Shield, there's a huge opportunity to make a very substantial income, just as much, if not more money than what you're making right now driving Lyft and Uber on a residual basis. And the great part about Legal Shield is that it's something that is just like insurance. It pays on a residual basis. If somebody keeps their policy for 20 years, you get paid for on that policy for 20 years. Okay? And not only are you helping these people, but you sign them up as an associate, and you get paid a little bit of a percentage of what they're making as well. And the best part about it is that when someone signs up, you get paid up to $180 as an upfront advance on the next 3 years of the commission that policy is going to generate. And they give that to you the very next day. You sign somebody up today, tomorrow that money is in your account. You know, I mean, what could be better than that? You know, just like with Lyft and Uber, if you go and you drive today and you put to cash out right now, you can get paid in as little as a few minutes and as long as maybe a day or two, depending on how your bank is set up. Same thing here. You know, you go and you hand out those business cards. You go and you stop at these airport queues. Here in Miami, it's like I said, there's 100 people ahead of me just on Lyft alone. By the time we put in, you know, everyone from Lyft and Uber, we're looking at probably close to about 150 people here. So if there's 150 people here in Miami, there's probably about another 100 sitting in Fort Lauderdale, and there's probably about another 50 sitting at West Palm Beach. Okay, so if you're an Uber or Lyft driver that's lucky enough to live down here in South Florida, in sunny South Florida, then you have that advantage of pretty much every day when you're driving. Usually every day when I'm driving the whole day, I usually end up at all three airports at least once. And if I'm going to come here, and right now it's what, a little after 10 o'clock, over at the Miami airport, I can guarantee you that if I come here later on at 2 or 3 o'clock, there's going to be a whole different group of people here. And so there's a whole different group of people that I could hand out my business cards to, you know? So you could easily hand out 50, 100, 150, even 200 business cards a day just to other Uber and Lyft drivers, plus the 20 or so people who you're driving around, you know, on a daily basis, on a 12 to 14 hour shift like I usually do. So that's a lot of people that you're coming into contact with, that you can leverage that experience that you're having with these people into something more, into an extra income. You know, think about just doing 1, 2, 3 policies a week, how that could change your life. You know, if you're at the top level and you're getting $180 for every policy that you're activating, folks, that's a mortgage payment. You know, it's easily a high-end car payment. You know, easily pays for, you know, gas. You know, oil changes, tires, new tires, you know, all of the things that you need as an Uber and Lyft driver to continue your business. And something like this, it goes so well together with the existing business that you're already doing. Why not give it a shot? Why not try it out for a bit? You know, the best part about it is you pay $100 to sign up as an associate. You take a 4-hour course that shows you what to do with this, and you get that $100 back. Okay, that's basically $25 an hour. When was the last time that you made $25 an hour as an Uber or a Lyft driver? You see what I'm saying? So this is something, guys, that everyone needs to be taking a look at, and you don't even have to be an Uber or Lyft driver. You know, you can, you know, you could be a bartender, you could be working at a mall, you could be someone who's just simply coming into contact with a fair number of people on a daily basis, and this is something that you can share with them to go ahead and show them what to do. Okay, so go ahead and click on the links that's below the video, and it'll get you to signing up as a prepaid legal associate. At the same time, you want to go ahead and get your membership, so that when you have those issues, when you get that speeding ticket, okay, you've got your attorney that goes ahead and takes care of that for you. You know, this is something where you don't want to be in a situation where you end up ruining your driving record, and then all of a sudden you can no longer drive for Lyft or Uber because your driving record is all messed up. You know, this is more important for us than pretty much anybody else, you know. So let's go ahead and get this done, guys. Go ahead and click on the link. Go ahead and subscribe. I'm going to be coming up with a lot more awesome videos that's going to go into some other aspects of how to approach people and how to get other people involved in this business. And again, even if you're not a Uber or Lyft driver, if you're just someone who comes in contact with a lot of people on a daily basis, let's do this.